Welcome back to another episode of ILTV. I'm your host, Lynn Ferrari, and I'm excited to introduce you to Glenda Cole today. Glenda is an American woman who left her job in corporate America in search of something more fulfilling. And after lots of searching and researching, she decided to move to the Algarve in Portugal, and she hasn't looked back. As you may or may not know, Portugal was named the #1 retirement destination in 2023 in International Living's World Global Retirement Index. And Glenda wants to show you all the reasons why. So for the next couple of weeks, we're going to do something a little bit different here in ILTV. We are going to give the camera over to Glenda so she can bring you behind the scenes onto what her life looks like in the Algarve, Portugal. The first video, which you will watch today, sets the scene. It gives you her backstory, why she moved to Portugal, what her life looked like before she moved, and what her life looks like now. Then, in the following couple of videos in this Portugal mini-series, we want the power in your hands. What topics would you like Glenda to cover? You let us know in the comments below. Maybe you want an insight look into the healthcare in Portugal, what a doctor's surgery looks like, how much procedures cost, or maybe you want Glenda to take you on a night out so you can get a taste for the social scene for expats. Let us know in the comments below. If you are enjoying this type of content and you want to know more ways you can internationalize your life, you can sign up for our free daily e-letter, the daily postcards, in the link below. As always, I'm going to ask you to hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you'll be notified once we release a new video, especially if you're interested in Portugal and this mini-series. You don't want to miss out on these videos. So please sit back and relax and enjoy the episode.
Hi, I'm Glenda Cole. Welcome to episode 1 of my storybook life. I'm here in the Algarve on the southern coast of Portugal in my villa. It's February. Incredible. I'm from Michigan. I still can't get over it. Every day here, I'm just blown away. International living was a major influence on the route I took from there to here. And I was thrilled when they asked me to share with you just how I did that. So first step is to talk about who I was back then. And I had spent years climbing the corporate ladder, and I had become the VP of marketing and sponsorship at a developer of luxury shopping malls. And I had the opportunity over my career to open beautiful malls in stunning locations like Tampa. We opened in Miami, Sarasota, Salt Lake City. We opened in Puerto Rico and even Hawaii. What a great time. A lot of travel, but beautiful cities on a beautiful expense report. It was a lot of fun. The other half of my job was sponsorship, which is creating partnerships with brands to drive dollars to the bottom line of the company. And we did some really beautiful partnerships that really, I think our customers were really appreciative, especially the Wicked tour that we did. We did a tour with Wicked, the Broadway show, and we created Glenda's Bubble, which it is Glenda with an I, not Glenda. And we toured the country as the show went to our various locations. We did a partnership with Microsoft at the holiday. One of my favorite partnerships was with Fox Studios when they opened one of their Ice Age movies. And I think we're going to show you a clip of what we did there. And I'm speaking at a press conference in LA as they launched the movie.
Today, kids from New Jersey to Miami, from Denver to Los Angeles, will be the very first to experience the new technology of PIP, picture-in-picture, with Ice Age, Continental Drift. They will tour all of our ice palaces and then visit with Signing Santa. For many children around the country, this will be the first time ever they'll be able to share their wish list with Santa in their own language.
What a great job, right? It doesn't get much better than that. It was incredible and I loved it. I was surrounded by the best team I'd ever had, great professionals as well as really good people. It was a great time. My son had just gone away to college, moved out of state, and I was, I can work even more hours. So I remember once I was on a plane somewhere and I had this epiphany, wow, the job is really consuming me. So for those of you who've been in a corporate sales job, you can understand that when you have great success, it breeds great stress because when you make a number one year, you've got to both make that number and increase it the next year. So those years of success, just the stress kept growing and yeah, it was phenomenal, but it was all consuming. And on that plane, I realized, I'm probably about 6-7 years from retirement. Maybe I need to think about an exit strategy. And I thought, what? I was actually working on a marketing plan for one of the properties. And I thought to myself, I've written all my career, I've written a lot of these marketing plans, and I've never sat down and written one for myself, for my own life. So on that plane, I started writing it. And I remember I always in those days took an International Living magazine copy with me in my carry-on. And during the action plan, I pulled that thing out, and it happened to be their annual Global Retirement Index issue. And I thought, I've always wanted to live overseas. I love to travel there, but it's really fun to experience it in a different way. So being the spreadsheet nerd I am, I put together my own spreadsheet. They have all those great criteria of how they evaluate a country. And I added a weighted variable to those things that meant the most to me. And at the end of that, 5 countries popped out as places that might be right for me in retirement. They were Malta, Costa Rica, Panama, Costa del Sol, the south of Spain, and the Algarve in Portugal. So I had my 5 countries ready to go. I thought about 7 years to retirement, so time to visit and see. The issue there was my son, who I'd had a great mother-son trip every year since he was young. He only had, at that point, he was going to school year-round. Med school, he could only go the holidays. So, okay, we went at Christmas time. I said, hey, will you do something a little different with me? I want to check out these retirement locations. And he said, sure, as long as you're paying. So off we went to Malta, year one. Beautiful island, stunning. We had a villa on the hillside, the crystal waters. It was lovely. The people were friendly, the seafood amazing. But at the end of the trip, I decided, an island, not island living, although beautiful to visit, perhaps perfect for some people, wasn't for me. So year 2, we went off to Panama for the holidays. And we decided 3 different locations we'd try. We tried Panama City, we tried a hilltop, and we tried a beautiful expat gated community. And in Panama City, I thought, I didn't think city life was for me, and I confirmed it. But no matter where in the continent, Panama, anywhere else in the world, not a big city person, at least not in retirement. So second stop was this beautiful hilltop, and really we went because I found this lady that retired, and she was an American, and she went to rescue exotic animals at this hilltop in Panama. Walked in, she had a bloody wrapped finger, and she said her newest rescue had bitten her, and I don't know if she tried to pet the leopard or what, but it was quite the experience. And I will say, if you ever find this lady and get an opportunity to hug a sloth, we're going to show you some pictures. They hug you back. It's an incredible thing to do in your life. She also had some monkeys, and they really liked my hair. It was quite the experience, but, I don't want to really live in that neighborhood with the crazy monkey lady. So we went on to stop 3. A beautiful, pristine, gated community of expats. It was lovely. Had a villa, very cheap. People were welcoming. I remember they sold me a calendar for dog rescue, and I'm a dog nut. I said, I could do this. But I thought, you know what? I don't think the gated community is for me either. So, okay, we went on to holiday number 3 a year later. And this time we went to the Costa del Sol in the south of Spain. And I thought, this is cool because I speak enough Spanish. Given enough time here, I think I could get pretty fluent. And we hopped along the coast. Beautiful. Had a great time. I remember we were at a town that I'd found for New Year's Eve, and they had a clock tower, beautiful town square, and their tradition was everybody in town flooded this square, and at midnight, on each bong of the clock, you ate 1 grape. So that's really cool. Let's go. We bought grapes. We got to the square. It was stunning, just gorgeous. And my son looked at me and said, "Do you see what these people have, Mom?" And they had these little tiny, like, Pringles cans of little bitty grapes that they could eat at midnight. And we had gone to the grocery store and had these humongo grapes. It was like a scene out of Cool Hand Luke where he's eating the eggs. And we got it down because we wanted to have good luck that next year, but we amused the entire town. It was a great time. I left that trip from Costa del Sol thinking, this is it. This is where I want to retire. But worked my plan, and I had a couple more stops to go. So I said to my son, next year, we're going to go to that Portugal Algarve place, but it's right next to south of Spain. So if we don't like it, we'll just buzz back over to Costa del Sol. And then we came to Portugal. And our first stop was Vila Moura, and we stayed in a marina. Beautiful boats, just stunning weather, and the people. People were friendly everywhere we went, but I cannot describe to you how people here, not only are they friendly, helpful, they go above and beyond in every way, shape, or form. You feel welcome. You don't feel like an outsider. It's a very different experience here, and everyone speaks English. We're trying to learn some Portuguese, but here it's simple because life is easy. Our next stop was Albufeira. Remember, we were on the beach in a sweater at midnight, and people were popping corks, and there was live music and a huge tree. Just so much fun. And our final stop was Lagos, and that did it for me. Right now, I'm standing about 15 minutes from Lagos. This part of the Algarve, I just fell in love with. And the town, the people, it was amazing. Our Airbnb, the little girl that worked at the countertop, she was yay big, she said, I have a place for you to go, O Camilo. It's this restaurant overlooking the water, amazing seafood. They had this menu. We went there. It was incredible. And at the bottom it said, order a day ahead, 24 hours in advance for these things. And I asked the waiter, he said, well, that's because we tell our fishermen to fish for that. So my son and I said, okay, we're coming back tomorrow. We had the most incredible monkfish stew I've ever eaten in my life. I think the bill was about 45 euros for 2 people. Unbelievable. I mean, that trip to Lagos, that cemented. I was in love with Portugal, the people, the seafood, the weather, the cost of living. We never got to Costa Rica. So I had the plan. It was all worked out. I thought about, at that point, about 4 or 5 years, maybe 3 if I was lucky, till retirement. So I was going to go back, jump into work, and work that plan. Well, life has a way of throwing a wrench into that. And one day I was in Nashville. I remember I'd flown in, changed time zones. It was late. The next morning I woke up, and the only way to describe it is my head felt like a balloon. And I won't go through all the details with you, but I ended up flying my son in. He basically carried me on a plane, got me back to Michigan, went to the University of Michigan Hospital, and underwent quite a few tests. They thought I had aggressive brain cancer because over the course of a few days, I went from being off balance to having double vision. I lost hearing in one ear. They actually let me out of the hospital for a day so I could go to my lawyer and get my affairs in order. And that's pretty terrifying. The miracle is that after all the testing, they couldn't find any cancer. And they were about to go in for exploratory brain surgery. They had found a lesion in my brainstem, and they couldn't figure out what it was. They were going to go get a sample of it. And that day, my vision cleared up. So the head of neurology at U of M came into my room and said, I've seen this once before in my 30-year career. A driven, stressed out executive who was changing time zones. Apparently changing time zones is one of the worst things you can do for your immune system. And she said, this is inflammation brought on by stress. And I'm telling you, even though your company name is on my paycheck, our patriarch had actually sponsored the neurology wing at U of M. She said, I'm going to tell you right now, you have to change your life today. And the company was wonderful. I never read another email, never went to another meeting. I retired at that moment. And, I was worried. I thought, oh my gosh, I had years on my financial plan yet, but you know what? I'm here to tell you, and I am an evangelist about it, that if you move to one of those places on International Living's list, one of the things they evaluate is cost of living. And I was able to move here 2 years at least before I planned to retire. And obviously I live in a gorgeous villa, having a wonderful lifestyle. You can do it too. So I've become this passionate spokesperson, not just to all my friends, but to other busy, crazy, stressed out people who think, I've got years before I can, get out of here. Get your plan together, write your exit strategy, and, think about those costs. Maybe you too can get out early and live a life like this, a storybook life. So please like us, subscribe to us, this new International Living TV channel. And this is episode 1. We're going to do a few more. So I invite you to tell me what you'd like to hear about. Would you like to hear about the villa? I'd be happy to give you a tour. Love the place. And talk about what, I had to do to buy it, all the steps I took and how it differs from the U.S. One of my favorites, we love to grocery shop here. So I'd love to take you grocery shopping to the market and all the fishery and all those beautiful places we go to. The market we go to, Taglio Lusitano, the butcher, is incredible. So love to take you on that tour and maybe compare. So after we do a grocery shop here, which the food is stunning, I'll get on an app and show you what that might compare to so you'd know if you're buying groceries here versus in the States. So you tell us. I'd love to share some exciting things. Obviously, I love to talk about my storybook life, and thank you for watching.
And there you have it, another episode of ILTV. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below, turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos, and join me for next week's episode.